students, part 2. This is the homework assignment, page 178, page 179, 180. And I always write notes at the top to help me as far as in conversions if I'm using it a lot. 1 milligram equals 1,000 micrograms. 1 gram equals 1,000 milligrams. So that is going to be key to your assignment. Okay, so here I have some practice problems that I think will be very helpful for you. Okay, for those who, may reach out to me and say, Ms. Thomas, do you have any practice problems that I will be able to do? And these are just some practice problems that I have found that are very helpful if you're studying for an exam or your midterm. Just having some practice problems to do is perfect. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Let me grab a pencil. Okay, so for number 1, a diuretic was available as 20 milligrams per 2 milliliter for injection. The physician ordered 15 milligrams. The nurse will prepare how many milliliters? Okay, so setting that up, since they've given me the 20 milligrams over 2 milliliters, then I would set this up like a proportion. I think it will be an easier transition. So for number 1, I would set up 20 milligrams over 2 milliliters. And remember, we're doing proportion, we want to match units. So then I'm coming over here back to the problem to see what else I was given to work with. Okay, 15 milligrams mg. So you're going to put the 15 mg here. You're going to match units to units. Then you're going to cross multiply. So 20 milligrams times x, and 2 times 15 is 30. So that's 30 milligrams times the milliliter. Aaron, your units are so very important in nursing because you don't want to get milligrams mixed up with milliliters, grams mixed up with kilograms. So you want to make sure you always write those units. So 30 divided by 20, 1.5 milliliters. That's it. Okay. For number 2, okay, let me give you an opportunity to at least look at number 2, look at the question. A medication was available as 100 milligrams per milliliter. The physician ordered 40 milligrams twice a day. The nurse should give how many milliliters per dose? Okay, per dose. So for number 2, the information that we were given was 100 milligrams per milliliter. And if they don't give you a number, a coefficient, it's automatically a 1. So that's 100 milligrams per 1 milliliter. Come back over here to read the rest of the information. The physician ordered 40 milligrams. So here, milligrams goes here at the top in the numerator over x. Now you want to cross multiply. So 100 milligrams times x equals 1 times 40 is 40 milligrams times milliliters. Next, I want to divide both sides by 100 milligrams. I want to isolate the variable, which is x. Cancel out that, so that only leaves you with milliliters. So 40 divided by 100 is 0.4 milliliters. Okay, 0.4 milliliters. Okay, let me give you an opportunity to look at number 3. Look at number 3. Okay, so for number 3, it says the physician prescribed 0.3 milligrams of a medication intramuscularly. Okay, intramuscularly. The drug was available as 500 micrograms per 5 milliliter. The nurse should give. Okay, well, first we need to go to page 116 in our textbook. 116. Okay. This is where you're going to have your commonly used approximate equivalents, metric and household systems of measure. So you got to make sure you always go back to the measurements. Okay, I'm looking here. 1 milligram equals 1,000 micrograms. That's where you need to start, because you're not going to be able to set up the proportion because the units don't match. Meaning you need a milligram and a milligram. You have a milligram and a microgram. They don't match. Okay, so we're gonna have to change our milligrams to micrograms. Okay, so this needs to be converted. So 1 milligram is equal to 1,000 micrograms, and that's on page 117. Okay, so we're going to convert this 0.3 milligrams. So here, 0.3 milligrams goes here. We're going to cross multiply. So 1 times x is just 1x. So 1 milligram times x. And now I want to multiply 1,000 times 0.3. 300. So that's 300 micrograms times milligrams. Okay. Next, I'm going to divide both sides by 1 milligram. I want to isolate the variable. That leaves me with 300 micrograms. Now you have something to work with. Okay, so here I want you to set this up like a proportion. 500 micrograms top or numerator, 5 milliliters bottom, okay, denominator. So 500 micrograms over 5 milliliters. That's what they gave us to work with. You have converted the 0.3 milligrams to 300 micrograms. Okay. Now I want you to cross multiply. Okay, so that's 500 micrograms x. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me write down here a little bit more smoother. 500. Just rewriting it to clean it up a bit. Okay, so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so cross multiplying, so that is 500 micrograms times x equals 300 times 5 is 1,500 micrograms times milliliter. Okay, last step, you're going to divide both sides by 500 micrograms on both sides, of course. These will cancel. Okay, these will cancel, leaving you with nothing but milliliter, and that's what you want. So 1,500 divided by 500 equals the number 3. Okay, so that will be 3 milliliters. 3 milliliters. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, let's try number 4. Look at number 4. Okay, so it says an anti-anxiety agent was available as 5 milligrams per 0.5 milliliter. Okay, the physician ordered 7.5 milligrams once daily. The nurse should give. So you want to first set this up like a proportion. That's going to make it smoother. So let's write 5 milligrams over 0.5 milliliters, especially if the units match. So look at how the units match on number 4. Milligram, milligram. Okay, they're just leaving you with milliliter, milliliter. But right here, milligram, microgram, they don't match. So that's why you had to do a little bit more work and convert. Okay, here they give me 7.5 milligrams. So that goes here at the top, milligram to milligram. Match your units. Now you want to cross multiply. So 5 milligram times x equals, let me get my calculator, 7.5 times 0.5 equals 3.5. 0.75 milligram times milliliter. Divide both sides by, of course, 5 milligrams because I want to isolate my variable. Let me clean this up a little bit. Okay, which leaves me with milliliter. And let me divide 3.75 divided by 5 equals 0.75. And oftentimes you'll see where when it's milliliter, it'll just be one number behind the decimal. You will see 0.8 in the back of the text, which is absolutely fine with me. Okay, so I'm just looking through the practice problems, and I'm thinking to myself, well, Ms. Thomas, what if the students need help with the actual assignment? Can you do at least number 1 and 2 maybe on the actual assignment itself so that they will know how it flows? Of course, I don't mind at all. Okay, so I'm looking at the actual homework assignment, which is on page 170.